quite interesting. You had already, loved the environment at the school, became excited about the sports on campus. You were not out. Maybe were you out to yourself even at that point?
Um, a little bit. So
A little
I was at Bowling Green for 6 years. And I would say the first 4 years I wasn't really out, because, part of being bisexual means, navigating, okay, do I even worry about coming out? I might as well end up dating a woman and not have to go through, the stigma and everything. But then towards the end of my time at Bowling Green, I was like, you know what, I always thought that it was going to be a weakness, like my story with my work in the DEI space, and I thought it would take away. And once I started shifting my mindset and thinking, you know what, there's not a lot of out queer people in sport. Like, it can actually be a really powerful platform to use to be who you are and encourage other people to do the same. So once that started shifting, I, came out more to myself and started coming out. But that really happened maybe my last year at Bowling Green, where I knew, I would be in a new city, it would be a new chapter. Like, now is the time. But Indianapolis was really the setting where I really found myself and found power in my voice as a queer person in sport.
What's so amazing is just that point that you're coming out was sort of at the tail end of your education, which means you found yourself interested in DEI, but not because you identified as a diverse person, except for being from outside of the US. So what was your initial interest in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and why that is a topic?
Yeah, I think for me, my interest in diversity, equity, inclusion, social justice really came from my master's and my upbringing. I think in my master's, it was very social justice focused. It was a cultural studies program. So we were reading all the giants in the social justice space. And that really helped me reflect on my own upbringing and some of the experiences I've had. Germany is a very progressive country generally, and I grew up in one of the major, most diverse cities. So that also helped me just generally get an appreciation for diversity and inclusion. But it really was my master's that kind of helped me sensitize, like, getting the knowledge and the skills to drive some of that work. And then my work with We Are One Team, I mean, that was really, it started as a passion project, but it really ended up being like the thing that helped me find my passion and my purpose, and really helped me translate some of those very abstract ideas when it comes to DEI into action, into a specific project that can drive change on campus. So I think that's really where it came from, that I saw, like, in the classroom, I was learning about the experiences of marginalized populations, of minoritized populations, of, systemic racism, systemic sexism, homophobia, all these constructs we have that shape our experiences, that create inequality and equities. And at the same time, I was developing this new passion for using sport to drive that change. And I think that combination really helped me develop my interest in the space and use sport as a platform to have some of those conversations and drive DEI in not just on campus, but really beyond.
And in life, that's not a new concept, because I'm thinking historically, sport has always played that role in life. Is that what you found too? Are there any particular stories where diversity, equity, inclusion, social justice moved you in sport historically?
Oh, for sure. So once I started my doctorate and I actually discovered sport as an academic field of study, that's what I was focused on. So my focus of my PhD is in sport and social justice. So I would, research all these examples, like the John Carlos, Tommy Smith in the '68 Olympics, raising their fist. All of those examples I would research, and my dissertation was on college athletes who are activists and who identify as activists, and looking at their experience more recently. But I kind of was immersed in this whole social justice era in sports, and looking at the different phases of activism historically. So that definitely helped kind of find my voice and just get the knowledge that I need to get an historical understanding of how sport has been utilized as a platform for social change, and in what ways we can use it more efficiently. Because one of the things that's always funny, people always assume that I do the work I do because I love sports. And I always have to correct them that, I do the work I do because I love promoting social justice and fighting for change. And sport just gives me the biggest platform to do that, especially in this country. When we think about how big sports are in the United States, and how so ingrained it is in their, adolescence and growing up and college. Sport just gives me the biggest platform to do the social justice work that I want to do.